We live in a brave new world. If you guys haven't figured out or found that book, Aldous Huxley's book, A Brave New World, I highly suggest you read it. And if you don't want to read it, look up some summary notes or spark notes on YouTube. I found this book by looking up George Orwell. You know, they're connected to each other, right? So I was thinking one day, and I was hearing people talk about it on YouTube one day, and I was like, I'm gonna dive into this and see what I think, right? As soon as I got into Brave New World and started learning about it, not necessarily reading it full out, but watching videos about it, consistent videos about it, I was like, God damn, that fits perfect what's going on right now. More than Orwell. And so I got some notes because I had to make some notes because I wanted to make sure I got everything right. And hopefully this video is very informative and it helps you guys think. Normally I don't write notes, I just free think everything. Everything just starts with a feeling and an emotion, and I just talk and everything just flows naturally, right? So hopefully this video doesn't sound too technical and too structured. I want it to be free flowing, right? But before we get too far into this video, I want you guys to hit the like button. I'm gonna give you guys a second just to hit the like button. Comment your thoughts if you've read Brave New World or George Orwell and what you think about it. And if you guys want to support the show financially in any way, all the ways you can do that are in the description below. One of the main themes in Brave New World is that you come across three characters that are independent thinkers that are unjustified or that are unhappy with the direction of where society is going. If you're an independent thinker watching this video, you know for a fact that you're not satisfied with where things are going. As a matter of fact, this is one of the reasons why I created a YouTube channel, because I didn't want to seem like I was the only one thinking these same thoughts about society, right? And a lot of you guys can relate to what I'm talking about, which is why I continually make these videos. If nobody was watching, wouldn't make these videos, right? But if you're an independent thinker right now, you're completely upset with where society is going, because you know society is not making sense right now at any level. Society is going down the shitter. Especially if you're a person that knows history and knows how societies collapse, right? So we live in a society of pleasure, which is what Brave New World is about. So how does Brave New World and the real world that we live in today line up perfectly? Well, number one, everyone is an addict in today's society. In the book, it mentions soma, which is a drug that's used to suppress and to make you happy. You feel euphoric, kind of like ecstasy, right? In today's world, everyone's an addict at something, it seems like. Whether it's an addict for consuming social media content, whether it's an addict for being on apps in general, Instagrams, Snapchat, YouTube, whatever it is, you're addicted to the phone. If you're not addicted to that, you're addicted to porn. You're addicted to sexual lust. You're addicted to masturbation. You're addicted to that oxytocin, that endorphin that gives you a good feeling, right? You're addicted to drugs, right? People talk about legalizing weed, and while weed does not have the same ramifications as a drug like cocaine, weed is still a drug. And if you cannot get up out of the bed each day without smoking a joint, you're a dope fiend. You're an addict. You don't want to be an addict in anything, right? Which leads to my next thing. There's an avoidance of suffering. Everything about society right now is about happiness and making you feel happy and positive, right? This is why you hear women in marriages and in relationships claim they got out of the relationship and the marriage because they weren't happy. As if that's a really justifiable clause for breaking up. I apologize if you guys hear that. That's my neighbor's children. They're making noise. Hopefully y'all don't hear too much of that, right? But you got women in relationships and in marriages breaking up because they're unhappy. Why would you break up an entire family structure to where you guys are producing children and producing values into the children, where you guys have a home, you have bills paid off, you guys are living a decent life? Why would you blow up an entire marriage because you're unhappy? Why would Gisele Bundchen divorce Tom Brady because he wanted to play an extra year or two in football, as if a year or two is 30 years? And you guys, if you're following that story, Gisele is unhappy with Tom Brady because Tom Brady is attracting young women rather easily. And she realized that she messed up that situation because of her emotions. She wasn't happy. This is why I say women have to have their emotions regulated, because if they don't, they self-destruct. Think about that for a second. Happiness is a fleeting emotion, right? Whenever I played football, I wasn't happy to go to practice every day. And of course, somebody wants to come on while I'm cooking some damn machine or something, right? It's passing through. But I wasn't happy to go to practice and do hitting drills for 20 minutes every day. I wasn't happy to go to work each and every day. This is why men don't understand happiness, or that part of destroying entire structures because you're unhappy, because it's about the discipline and the hard work that you have when it comes to sticking to something that gives you a sense of pride and a sense of accomplishment because you stuck it out, right? You see people avoiding negative emotions by the use of drugs and alcohol. You literally have women, you have men going to bars and clubs, getting drunk just because they had a hard day at work, just because they're struggling in life at the moment, as if that's the right way to fix their problems. You have people quitting or partially quitting and partially going on vacations because it's a mental health wellness break. And not to get misconstrued, I believe in mental health. Mental health is a big thing. But people use mental health in the wrong ways. People use mental health to cover up their laziness. People use mental health to cover up them not wanting to do a certain thing and to get out of doing that thing. What is the next thing that Brave New World and today's society is pushing? Religion and family is not being taught today. If you guys look into Brave New World, the leader of the New World ended up resigning because it was shameful to be a father. And he was fathered to, I think, John the Savage, if I'm not mistaken. You guys comment that if I mismistake that, right? I know Linda was probably, which is John the Savage's mother, they probably slept together. I think that's what the connect is. I could be wrong, right? You guys correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong on that point at this time, right? So they took religion out of schools, right? You can't pray. If you're a father, if you're a mother in a traditional household, you get clowned and humiliated and shamed in today's world for being so. If you look at men that are traditional, they'll say you're a misogynist. They'll say you're controlling. You just want to control the woman. If you're a woman that's a wife, they'll say you're a subservient woman that's docile and weak, and the guy is taking advantage of you. They're demonizing being a father and a mother to discourage you from doing what's right. In Brave New World, there was no monogamy. Orgies were the norm. We've talked about this before with the Bonobo Society, right? Everything's equal. Everybody, there's no mate selection. Everybody's just having free sex, right? The next thing, today's people are too docile and distracted to fight. If you look at taxes, the Boston Tea Party fought back because of too much taxes. But yet in today's world, we got sales tax, property tax, income tax, social security tax. I'm missing some, but we're getting taxed at every level and nobody gives a shit about that. Our military is struggling to recruit solid people to fight in the army, to fight in the military. As a matter of fact, they've had to drop the qualifications to get people to come back. Which means what? Our army is heading into a direction where it is weak and not able to fight at a high level to protect us in the country. You have Gen Zers, and I read an article recently about a person in Gen Z that said he only wants to work 5 hours a day. Literally try to negotiate the work hours with the employer. people don't want to work anymore. Lastly, self-deletion is at an all-time high for men. If you look at John the Savage, he self-deleted because he fell victim to the programming that he thought he could beat. He felt guilty about his mother passing away, and that soma had consumed her. Yet, whenever he was shipped off to a different part of the world to live by himself, when the others came to examine him because he was being used as a case study, he fell victim to soma as well, which ultimately just killed his will to live because he couldn't find another way out of beating that drug. Men are committing I can't say the word on YouTube because YouTube was all get crazy, right? Men are committing self-deletions because they feel like they're not useful in society. There's nothing for them to do. There's nothing for them to hunt. There's nothing, they feel useless. You look at divorce courts, you look at marriage laws, you look at how women perceive men in today's world. They don't respect the duties and the job that men do, which influences male's behavior because if a woman respects him and respects his duty as a man, he will go even harder to sacrifice and do what he needs to do to make sure his family and his woman is straight. Men can't find a useful part of society to be a part of. You don't hunt anymore. You have food at the grocery store. Don't fight anymore. There's no need to fight. You got drones and military equipment and nuclear warfare. Where can men go to feel honored and respected, to where their masculinity is being promoted, right? Because that's another thing. Masculinity is being attacked at so many levels in society and in schools. Men think that they're the enemy and that they're their own worst enemy and that they're what's wrong. And you hear that message consistently over and over and over again, and it just makes you a docile person. It makes you not even want to do anything. So I want you guys to comment your thoughts below. What do you guys think about Brave New World and how it lines up with our real world as we know it, right? I appreciate you guys watching to the end. That's my video. Like the video on the way out. Comment your thoughts. Subscribe to the channel if you like me and my content. If you guys want to support the show, all the ways you can support and donate to the show are in the description below. I appreciate you guys. You guys have a good day, good week, and we'll see you in the next one. We're out.